I spent 100 days in broken Minecraft. In hardcore. I wanted to see how many ways I could break Minecraft but still make it playable. There's not many, but I threw together a couple of mods that I think will work for a playthrough. The first of which being a Sky Island mod. Now you're probably saying, okay, you just set world generation type to floating islands, right? Right?
Wrong!
In base Minecraft, the floating island generation only has one biome, which would get pretty boring for 100 days. So I downloaded a data pack that lets me have a full world with tons of biomes and structures in floating islands, which can sometimes get pretty broken, hence the title of this video. And on top of this, I installed a couple of mods that'll add some weird oddities along the way. Also, I have something to tell you guys. If you guys want to see me make videos like this live, or interact with me, or maybe even play with me, follow me on Twitch, and maybe it'll happen. Who knows, we'll see. Let's begin. So I spawned in my world, and it looked exactly how I thought it would look. I harvested wood. I mean, there's not much else to do when you start a Minecraft world. So as you can see right here, I'm breaking blocks, but this is not how it used to work. Before this playthrough, I played 3 other playthroughs where I had an extra mod installed. Basically, the mod made it so that whenever you broke a block, all the blocks around it had sand physics and fell down, which I thought was pretty funny and broken, but it ended 3 playthroughs for me. Yes, 3 hardcore playthroughs. I died because of falling sand blocks. I could not play with it. I had to turn it off. I crafted myself some tools and yeah, you get it. So I found a couple of pigs laying around and yeah, all the animals look like this and it's really terrifying and I hate it and I don't know why I'm making this video. And if you didn't think that was bad enough, this is what happens when you kill them. Yeah, I have nothing to say. But I did end up finding a village, so after building across, I decided to explore. These chickens look so stupid. I think the chickens are the dumbest, honestly. Pigs, yeah, it's pretty messed up, but the chickens, I mean, what the heck is that? Oh man, this is so nice finding a village. Nice little head start here. Cat. Oh man, if I got a horse, that'd actually be kind of clutch. Yes, I need a bed. Actually, that'd be kind of a dumb idea to get a horse. This place is not big enough for that. Iron Golem. Boom. Whoa. He looks cool. Hi, cow. Why are you just on the edge here? Woo! Oh no, his poor little cow face. Bye-bye. Oh man, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that one, like, ninja slicing game in Wii Sports Resort, where you slice the fruit. I don't know, that's just literally like... it looks like it to me. I don't know. After wandering around for a bit, I eventually stumbled upon a nice little area that I thought would be good for a house. So making a nice little waterfall, I made my way down there. It was a flower biome, so there's bees down there, but bees are kind of useless in Minecraft, so who cares? I spent the next few days preparing this area for a home. I went back up to the village and collected some crops and started a nice little farm around my house. This was surprisingly going very smoothly so far. I decided it'd be great to build my house underneath this giant cliff, so mobs literally spawn all over all the time. So I went exploring and I actually did stumble across some iron, which is really good. Because of all these mobs, I really needed some gear. I came back home, smelted my iron, and made a couple pieces of armor and a shield. And while I was home here, I realized something. Around my living area, there's a little hole, a little cave in the ground, and a bunch of endermen were trapped in there and making a bunch of noise, and they would not despawn, they would not leave, and it was really pissing me off, so I decided to try to fight them. But then this happened and I got too scared, so I stopped. Probably won't try that again. After lighting my living area up a little bit, I knew it was time to make a farm. I built some fences and I brought some sheep near my house to live there, and a couple of chickens too, which gave me an idea. I decided it'd be pretty funny if I built an automatic chicken farm this early in the game, because you can never have enough chicken. It's just the best. So I went out to get all the materials. Okay, so I have to collect all the resources necessary to create a chicken auto grinder generator, but it's kind of hard when mobs keep showing up. It's really freaking annoying. Yep. Now I'm on fire. Thank you. I love this game. I want to freaking play it till I die. What do you gotta do for the bumblebees? You gotta make a thing. You gotta make a fireplace, right? So how do you need coal and sticks and wood, right? So that should be, why would I want a soul fireplace? Oh, I'm an idiot. All right, bees, get ready to be fired. Woo. Smoking out the hive. What is it? What does this do? I don't even... Why? Why did he die? Why? Why are they all dying? They must not be able, maybe the beehive is too full? I don't know. I'm thinking about putting my house up on this mountain here. Like a nice big room. I've been struggling for food, which is why I really want this chicken farm. I think it's a really smart idea. It's a big brain play. We need sand. Crap. Where am I gonna get sand? Oh, there's some sand. That sand works, right? Yeah. I need a lot of iron. I need to make sure to get all this stuff. Oh, hey zombie, you suck. You're so bad. Oh my gosh! Whoa! How am I alive? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have... Why? I think if we just travel up here, we can get some red sand, and that works, right? Yeah, red sand works. This isn't a red sand biome, is it? There's no sand, huh? No sand. I'm so dumb. I'm the dumbest. Right now, I think would be a good time to explain something. Originally, this entire video is going to be filmed with this really weird shader pack on that pretty much makes the entire world look like you're tripping on acid. It was supposed to be the premise of this entire video, but after recording for a few minutes with it, I got super sick. I could not imagine spending 100 days with it, let alone an entire video for you guys to watch. It is a pretty cool effect, but it was too much for a video like this. I spent the next in-game week or so just traveling around and getting materials because I wanted to get enough stuff to build my house. I spent a few days collecting cobblestone and just kind of traversing the land and walking around, feeding my animals and planting trees, and I wanted to get to work on my house. After I got a nice little structure going, I decided to dig through the entire mountain. And to my surprise, on the other side, I actually found a nice little area full of mobs, but still, it was nice. And I definitely wanted to make it part of my house. The first thing I added to my house was a nice little chest room because my inventory was getting way too full at this point. I definitely needed a place to store stuff. I harvested my crops and went to sleep for the night, and I knew it was time to go on a long adventure. You see, one of the ingredients in the chicken farm is an observer, and to make an observer, you need a quartz. I don't have that. I don't have that at all, so I needed to find a way to make a nether portal. Up until this point, I had not seen a lava pit, so this might be a little difficult. I stored a bunch of stuff in my chest, including some of my old tools, which I have the tendency to keep in my inventory for the entire playthrough. And I know it annoys the crap out of you guys, I'm sorry, but I was ready to head out on this adventure. After traveling through the village that I already found and harvesting some wool from sheep, I found my way to a jungle. I collected some bamboo, which I could use for some scaffolding, and I tamed a little parrot, which is pretty cool. While wandering around, I actually stumbled across an abandoned mine shaft, which was just kind of floating down in the abyss. I built over to it because I actually did want to explore it, but then I saw how many mobs were down there, and yeah, no, that's not happening at all. Look at this. Just look at that. Plus, I couldn't spot any chests, so I mean, what would I get? Some rails? Nice. But while wandering around, I actually stumbled across a diamond. So on these floating islands, ore can pretty much spawn anywhere, on the surface, underneath, wherever. So diamonds can actually spawn above ground like this one just did. So hey, I mean, that's pretty cool. Believe it or not, exploring these massive islands takes forever. It's literally just jumping down and building up and jumping down and building up. This took me way too long, and I knew I had to go home. I could not find lava anywhere, so I just gave up for now. I'll explore later, I'll find lava later. I can't keep doing this. But hey, at least I got a parrot, so I mean that's pretty cool. I spent the next few days adding on to my house, and just generally organizing and putting things where they should be. And while I was fighting mobs, I actually got a potato from a zombie. And this gave me the idea that I should probably expand and build a bigger farm. I want to make a real industrial farm somewhere else, but I wanted to make this entire island into a cool scenic area. And just kind of make it look cool. Because in the last 100-day challenge, I actually didn't get to do too much building, so I actually really want to do a lot of building in this one. I started by cutting down every tree on this island, or at least as many as I could until my iron axe broke. The next 5 days or so kind of flew by. I spent a lot of time just organizing stuff and adding on to my house, since I realized that I was over a third of the way in and I didn't even have any kind of structure to my house, so I decided to take a lot of time to just add to it. And I think it's coming along pretty nicely so far. On the other side of my house, I ended up killing a bunch of these mobs and adding torches so that they stopped spawning. Literally so many mobs were spawning over here, it was getting really annoying. After this, I went back down to my farm where I realized there was actually a couple of pillagers waiting for me. And then this happened. Ah! Get him, bee! Yes! Kill him! No! No! Stop! Get him! Come on, no! Don't kill the bee! I don't want to get bad omen. Just kill. He just murdered. He murdered Barry B. Benson. Rest in peace, Barry. Look, he's grieving. He's grieving his. Whoa! What? Why did he die? Next, I started to get ready for a big, long trip. I had been cooped up in this little island for pretty much the entire playthrough, so I decided to go out and try to find some different biomes and, you know, different things to do. I'll be completely honest with you guys, I took this entire venture to go kill some time, but it wasn't only that. I mean, I was looking for a village for my bad omen, so I could hopefully fight a raid and get a totem of undying, but I also wanted to find a lava pit so I could finally go to the Nether. But the truth is that there is no lava pits anywhere. I generated a different world and looked through it in Spectator, and there wasn't a single lava pit in that world. So going to the Nether is going to be pretty difficult. That means the only way to get lava are on these lava falls that spawn one block at a time. So that's going to end up taking me quite a while. But on this adventure, I actually stumbled upon a village, and then I forgot that I had bad omen, and a raid started. And this raid lasted forever. Hardcore raids are absolutely no joke in Minecraft. Just back to back back to back non-stop. I had no arrows for my bow and my best weapon was my axe. Eventually I did end up killing a Vindicator, I think that's what they're called, and I got a Totem of Undying, which is the only reason I even wanted to do one of these raids. And I had a couple of pretty close calls. I mean, like some super close calls. Like I was freaking out. I was about halfway through with this challenge and I was about to die. Eventually I reached the end of the raids and they kept spawning on these islands far away and they just ended up killing themselves and I won because they killed themselves, which was pretty easy. I mean, I probably would have died if I had to fight them. So that was nice, and hey, I got Hero of the Village and all the villagers celebrated and it was cool, and yeah, whatever. I took some chickens from my pen and brought them all the way up and through my house to the other side. I wanted to get them ready for my automatic chicken farm. Hey, remember when I was doing that? Still am. Yep. I also decided to make an official farm room. That sounds stupid. What? I decided to make an actual place to plant my crops, and this is what it looks like. There. Now it was time for my biggest adventure yet. I was gonna craft a couple of buckets and go out and collect as many lava falls as I could. Once again, this part took me very long to do. I had to stop so many times to collect a bunch of cobblestone so I could stack across these islands. A lot of very close calls, and almost 2 hours later, I had collected enough obsidian. Now, I know what you're thinking, that doesn't look like enough, does it? Well, prepare to have your mind blown. Bet you didn't know these were in the game. Okay, I'm just kidding. It was one of the broken mods that I installed. I collected some food and I was prepared to enter the Nether. It's pretty incredible to think that it was so hard to enter the Nether that I had to wait till day 60 to do this. But after entering, I collected the 4 corners of the portal so I can use it for my enchantment table, and I finally got my 1 quartz. So I could finally complete the chicken farm that I've wanted to build since day 5. Needless to say, I was pretty excited. I went home and grabbed all the materials, and now it was time to build. The process was surprisingly super easy. I mean, I was watching a tutorial video, so I mean, I couldn't have messed that much up. I had a couple of issues trying to get the chickens in. They were being really annoying, especially since they looked like this and not normal chickens. But I did it. I finished my chicken farm that I wanted since I started this, and I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier. What can I say? I'm a simple man. Next, I decided to continue adding onto my house. I added a potato farm on the opposite side to my wheat farm, and I expanded my house even further and added a big kitchen. And I just summed up like 10 in-game days in like 2 sentences. Wow, okay. Next, I wanted to go on an adventure to the Nether. I wanted to either find a fortress so I could get some diamonds, because diamonds are not that easy to get, okay? Just because they spawn all over the place doesn't make them easy. Through this entire playthrough, I've only found 4. So I was hoping I could find maybe another fortress so I could get at least 2 so I could make an enchantment table. I wanted to do that or trade with piglins so that I could get ender pearls. So just maybe I could get Eyes of Ender and maybe fight the Ender Dragon. I really don't think it's possible, especially before 100 days, but I don't know, maybe. But after exploring for a while, I remembered that I was in hardcore and this place sucks. I got so close to dying so many times. And I really wanted to see what a ghast looked like when it died because all the other mobs fell apart. And eventually, after 3 attempts, I finally got one to spawn close to me and I got to kill it. And yeah, it's pretty satisfying. I decided to go home because I could not find a fortress and this place was way too dangerous for me to be there. Again, I just had plain iron gear. I couldn't enchant anything. So I decided to go back, and I probably won't be going back here. I think I can officially say that this mod pack is actually a lot harder than the Farlands one, because although the Farlands had a bunch of mobs and it was hard to get food, once I established an actual base and I had a place to have food, I could pretty much just live and do whatever I wanted. In this place, finding ore is pretty difficult, and traveling around the world is a lot harder than just sailing on a boat, which is why I spent a lot more time at home during this playthrough. Next, I wanted to figure out how to get some villagers so I can start my own little village in my house. But the weird thing is that this entire time I have not seen a single zombie villager. It must be that something in the mod is broken, but I guess that's sort of the point of this video, so yeah. But there is a village pretty close to my house. So I built a village room and I was ready to lead them into it. I decided to build a bridge connecting the island of my house to the island of the villagers. My idea was that I was going to use water buckets to push them all the way into my house. And after a while of building, I finished the bridge and I went up to go get them. And then there was nothing. No villagers in sight. They all died. Who knows how, who knows why. There's not a single villager left, and I wasted all of my time like an idiot. Probably should have checked if they were here first, but who cares, whatever. I guess having villagers is another thing that just won't happen during this playthrough. It was finally time for me to try to go find some more diamonds. I was almost done with this entire playthrough, and my only enchanted item I ever got was this bow that a skeleton dropped. So I wanted to make an enchantment table. I set out to go find some diamonds, and I actually found them super quickly. At first I thought it was just one, but there was a second one hiding beneath it, which means that I now can make an enchantment table, right? Well, I was missing one last ingredient. a book. Up until this point, I haven't seen a single sugarcane anywhere, so I knew I had to find a way to get books. I went to the village near my house and there wasn't a librarian or a library in sight. I then took a couple of days to travel to the other village where I had the raid, and even there was no librarians and no libraries with books. So I continued traveling, and after a long time of walking and building across to other islands, I stumbled across another village. And big surprise, this one had no librarian either. I was losing a lot of hope at this point, but after walking for a very long time, I stumbled across a little lake that had a sugarcane in it. I built over to it, and there it was. I immediately brought it home and started a sugarcane farm. I spent the next few days traveling around and collecting ore, and while I was fighting mobs, I actually stumbled across a zombie villager. Like I said, I had no idea these things would even spawn. I hadn't seen one up until this point, and because of that, I was scared that I would lose him, so I knew I had to get him to my house as fast as possible. After leading him home, I put him in the villager room for him to stay. But there was an issue. I couldn't make a weakness potion because I didn't have any blaze rods, but I was really scared to leave him alone. You see, I don't know if it's a weird bug with Minecraft or something, but sometimes when I leave zombie villagers alone in a room where they're not supposed to despawn, they despawn anyway. So I made a fishing pole and started fishing for a name tag right next to him, and I fished for 40 minutes straight, and I didn't catch a single name tag. It was absolute torture. I then thought of the idea to make an enchantment table and try and enchant my fishing pole, but I realized that I didn't have any lapis, but I knew where some was. So leaving my zombie villager alone, I traveled out to get this lapis. I got to my lapis, which was actually pretty far away, but when I came home, he was still there. After this, I tried to enchant my fishing pole with Luck of the Sea, but I just could not get the enchantment for the life of me. I just couldn't get enough books to get that enchantment. But since he didn't despawn while I was getting the lapis, I felt confident enough to go to the Nether and try to get some blaze powder. So I left him alone and I headed out. Now, last time when I was in the Nether, I didn't find a fortress, but I also didn't look very much. So after wandering around in different directions, I actually found one that was super close to my portal. And right there was a blaze spawner. After a couple of close calls and battling back and forth, I got one blaze rod and that was all I needed. And just like that, I headed home. I got home and I crafted a fermented spider eye, threw the potion of weakness at my villager, gave him a golden apple, and cured him. I gave him a lectern, but he's not becoming a librarian for some reason. I have no idea why, but I'm sure you guys will educate me in the comments. And with that, I could happily end this gameplay on day 100. I'll be honest with you guys, this felt like it went by way too fast. Sometimes I wonder while watching these 100-day challenges how people manage to fit so much content into 100 days. Usually they beat the Ender Dragon, fight the Wither, and do all these crazy things when I pretty much can't. I didn't get to fight too many bosses during this because it was just way too hard to traverse through these floating islands. And by the time I was able to enter the Nether, I did not have enough time or good enough gear to grind Wither skeletons to get Wither skulls, which is a little disappointing, but it doesn't matter that much to me. I know this playthrough didn't really live up to the title. I had a lot more mods installed that really broke the game, but I just could not play 100 days with them. After weeks and weeks of trying playthroughs with these mods, and after failing one after the other, I just had to find some way to get a video out. I'll be honest, I'm really sad to be leaving this world. It's a weird feeling that I really can't describe. I guess the best way to put it is that it's bittersweet. I'm happy to be ending this world, but I also want to keep going. When you put weeks and weeks of your time, days and days of playing into a single world, you grow sort of an attachment to it, and it makes me feel really sad when I think that I might never play on this world again. But at least I'll have this video to remember my journey. Before this video ends, I want to shout out Toyu. He's the one that created the weird mobs resource pack. And I also just want to give credit to Luke thenotable, the creator of the 100-day challenge. It's not my idea, it's his. He deserves all the credit. Thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.